Hello and welcome to another horoscope for people born in September. Yes, I've given these readings a name of their own. Being a sociologist, we always make up new words, and this is mine, horoscopes. I'm Dr. Karen, and you're on Karen's Colours. If you've been here before, then you are very, very welcome back. If not, if this is your first time here, well, let's hope that I have something to offer you that will help you through the month of August 2026. For this month, I've decided to look at the Doreen Virtues Ascended Masters. Now, this particular oracle was created by a well-known tarot creator, and I thought that some of the things that she has to say in her Ascended Masters oracle might be a benefit to us. So, before we begin anything else, let's do a bit of shuffling, shall we? Now, as you know, I'm still not very good at this, but I am improving through a bit of practice. All right then. Let's just choose from the middle in here and this one will do it. So let's get right into the color, shall we? Well, let's now look for some colors for people born in September to see how August will transpire for them. And we need 3 combinations, and the first one is the strength, brown over cyan. And then we have the obstacle that you're dealing with, which is black on grey. Put that the right way around for a start. And then the underlying energy is yellow on brown. Very well then, September people, what do we have here? Well, to begin with, the strength that we have for you in August is all about a search for contentment. This is the thing that you can do best. You know what it is that you need to make yourself feel comfortable at home and everywhere else. You know how to create bliss and quiet and just the extremes of happiness associated with that contentment that comes when everything is in its place and the world is harmonious for you. But that drive towards that comes because in the real world you are busy, busy, busy. Brown is all about the setting of goals and the achievement of the practical skills and attributes that are necessary in order to achieve those goals. So you're finding yourself in a state of wanting peace and quiet, and in the real world, you're working very hard towards attaining that. And you're doing it extremely well, because when brown appears in the real world, it means that you are physically, mentally, and in every way active in achieving what it is that you have set out to achieve. Now, the obstacle that you're facing is black over grey. Now, when grey appears in the internal world, it's a need for some sort of middle road. You're trying to find stability between the extremes of the demands that are made upon you. Now, we know that grey is not a specific hue as such. It is the middle road between black and white. And black and white in our vernacular is all about truth and lies, about reality and fantasy. Well, here you're actually striving to find that middle road between the two that enables you to function well in the real world. But in the real world, what you are struggling with is this withdrawal. You're finding yourself being secretive, keeping away from people and things. You're not allowing experiences from outside the world to come into your life. You're keeping a barrier up between you and the rest of the world. And that in turn gives you the time that's necessary to try and find that middle road. But this is a continual struggle. When you look at how you have peace and harmony as the driver, which is enabling you to do a lot of hard graft in order to obtain what you want, here, this is almost a shutdown that you're dealing with. There's a sense of depression here. I don't feel as though I want to continue. I've been working too hard. I'm pretty well exhausted. And internally, this drive for finding that happy medium between working too hard and being exhausted, which is also part of what is seen here, is very difficult for you. Now, the underlying energy here, however, is you have yellow over brown. Now, brown, as we know from here, in the real world, it's all about action, being busy, taking on roles and activities and ambitions and goals that you want to achieve, and being very practical about what you're doing. But the underlying driver here is that you have some long-term plans. You want to achieve something, not in the short term as you are doing here, by activating it, but actually long-term plans. And you have the opportunity here to learn how to achieve those. Yellow is the color that's associated with learning, with memory, with being content and happy with the things that you are learning. Cyan is actually real contentment. Yellow is more the contentment that comes from knowing that you now know something that you didn't know before. So the brown internally is a driver that is asking you to take on some long-term activities, some long-term goals and ambitions. And in the real world, you are learning the skills perhaps, or maybe the knowledge that you're gathering together that is necessary for you in order to be able to achieve those. Now, let's leave the underlying energy aside for a moment and look at what we have here in terms of color. Well, for a start, you have black. Oops, where are we? But there's no white. There's no red, but you do have yellow. There's no green or blue, but you do have brown. There's no orange, but you do have grey. There is no purple or pink, but you do have cyan. So here we have the 5 colors or 5 skills that you are using throughout the month of August. And when we look at these, here we have the strength, brown and cyan. The obstacle is black and grey, and the underlying energy is yellow and brown. What happens when we simply deal with the strengths and the weaknesses? Well, we cross over the underlying energies to look at what it is that is likely to cause you to fail in what you are trying to achieve. Now we have brown over grey. That search for the middle road, that search for some sort of way out of confusion and uncertainty that you are striving for here as your obstacle driver, now comes through in the real world as, again, goal orientation, setting yourself some objectives and working hard towards achieving them, being busy. But that confusion, when it comes through as goal setting, often means that you are uncertain about what it is that you actually want to achieve. Which ones are the ones that you really want to work hard at, and which ones can you lay aside for the long term or even in the short term? There is confusion about which goals are most effective for you, which ones are most achievable even. As well as this, we have this striving for contentment and peace and harmony, and just simply being happy in the world that you have created for yourself. In the real world, it doesn't matter how contented you want to be, nothing is absolutely satisfactory. It's as though you can't seem to find whatever that happy medium is that you need here that enables you to feel at peace with the world, because in the real world, there's always something coming along that disrupts the status quo. And so the crossover between the strength and the obstacle becomes itself a self-perpetuating cycle of I work hard, I feel confused, I feel as though I need to settle down, but in the real world, things never seem to change. There is a shutdown. It's as though you're beating your head against a brick wall. Now, if we look at what happens when we put the underlying energy in here, in between them, then we have this picture taking place. Once again, let's look at the underlying energy as it works with the strength. Cross them over, and what do we get here? We have brown on brown, and we have yellow on cyan. Brown on brown is the drive towards a particular type of goal or activity that you want to achieve, an ambition that you have, and in the real world, the ability to get out there, learn the practical skills, work hard towards obtaining that. This is slow and steady progress. You know it's going to take you quite some time to achieve what it is that you have set out to achieve. But by using the underlying energy with your strength, you also know that eventually you will get to your end goal. As well as this, you have yellow over cyan. These are both colors associated with happiness and contentment. The cyan in the internal world, the driver, is all about wanting to create that peace and harmony and contentment that comes with having a life that is well lived. And in the real world, you are able to find the happiness, the joy, the laughter even, that is necessary to make you feel as though, yes, life is contentment. So by working hard, by taking it step by step through your life's mission, through the ambitions that you have set for yourself, your purpose, you can also find the contentment and the happiness that you are looking for. How does that work, however, when we include the underlying energy and the actions associated with your obstacle? Again, we cross over the underlying energies. And now we have a slightly different picture. We have yellow over grey and we have black over brown. The yellow over grey, grey, as we know, is all about that search for that middle path. We want to get out of confusion, but uncertainty seems to reign. And in the real world, it's almost as though the more you learn, the more confused you actually become. And why would that be? It's maybe you're learning the wrong things. Maybe you're being distracted and led down a path of learning and memory and just simply taking on new information that is overwhelming for you, so that actually creates an uneasiness internally. Maybe you're just finding out that what you don't know and what you need to know is not sufficient for what it is that you have set out to achieve. As well as this, we have black over brown. Brown, as we know, is all about the need for goals and ambitions and getting out there and finding out what you need to do in order to be able to obtain whatever you are driving yourself towards. But in the real world, there's shutdown. Every time you set up a goal, every time you set up a particular strategy for what you want to achieve, in the real world, something comes along that shuts it down. Now, whatever that something is, I don't know. But certainly it puts a halt on things, and you are forced into a situation of backtracking. You don't know how to obtain these goals because something always looks pretty dark on the horizon. And here is an interesting issue as well, because black and yellow in the real world are nature's danger signals. They say, be extremely cautious. I have hidden potential, and in the real world, I can sting or bite or do something else nasty to you. So when we take the underlying energy along with the obstacle and mix them together, there is here a warning that you should be treading extremely carefully. We use yellow and black in the real world as our signal colors for radiation poisoning. So There is a warning here in this combination, just to take it slowly, step by step. That's what the brown on brown was about. Take it slowly, don't rush at things, and make sure that what you learn isn't actually creating a dangerous situation that you don't recognize. Because black is the unexpected that you don't recognize, you don't know how to deal with, and will eventually overpower you, because black eventually cuts down any color and makes it so dark you can't recognize it for what it is. So it's an issue here that you need to be aware of. So let's have a look at the colors that are missing, because these will give us guidance as to how to deal with the issues that you are facing, and gives us some opportunities to learn some different skills. Well, we have white, we have red, we have green and blue and orange and purple and pink. Now, this set of skills here, you might note, is actually quite colourful in contrast to what you have here as your colours for the month of August. White is about dealing with the unexpected. It's the opposite of black. Whereas black says shut down, run away, hide, don't get involved. Here, white says, hey, life happens. And sometimes what happens in life seems to be catastrophic, but often it's just simply one door closing and another one opening. Red is about empowering yourself. Give yourself the energy that you need to step forward, not just confidently, because that's what orange is about, but certainly in a way that allows you to master what it is that you are doing in life. You want to be your own boss. Green is about finding new ideas, values, new directions in which to carry out your life. Blue is about, again, work. This time, not the sort of work that we have here with the brown, where we are creating an ambition and developing the skills that are necessary. Blue says, I've already got the skills. I know what to do. I am organized. Perhaps that's an issue you might like to take on. Orange, confidence, courage, stepping forward, developing social skills. Purple, dealing with all sorts of different crises through play. Children are designated purple because they are very creative in the destruction that they havoc with their toys. Children are creative and destructive. And that's what purple is about. Making changes, destroying what is in order to create something better. And finally, there's pink. There's love. Do you actually like what it is that you're doing? Do you like yourself? Are you emitting love? Are you compassionate and caring and able to attract to yourself the sorts of things, experiences, people that will help you along the way? Choose from among these the colour that's most appealing and then the colour that is least appealing, and put those into your life so that this underlying energy here is boosted, and that in turn will influence both your strength and your weakness. It will make your strength more palatable, and hopefully it will reduce the weaknesses to something that is more manageable. Let's now have a look at that oracle card. What does it say here? We have the Ascended Master. I haven't a clue how to pronounce this. Kanyi, and it says, let it go. Well, let what go? Well, perhaps you need to let go the negativity that you carry around with you like a cloud over your entire life. Who knows, when you do let it go, maybe happiness is the result. It's up to you. Well, it certainly seems like August is going to be a rather transformative month for a lot of us. Maybe your month will be a little less challenging than the reading might suggest. But on the other hand, maybe challenge is exactly what you need at this time in order to help yourself out of the doldrums that have pretty much afflicted us for most of the year. So until I see you again in September for the next colour scopes, may the colours of your life lead you in a direction that is for your own higher good. Catch you next time. Bye.